So this is variation 1 to Environment Canterbury's proposed land and water regional plan. It's a supplementary agenda item number 2, and it's page 542. All good? Okay. Moved Councillor Clearwater. Seconded Councillor Chen. Okay. Have you found it, Ellie? Can you pinch Glenn's, or hasn't he found it? Okay, we'll just wait for a minute while everybody makes sure they have it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, can you give your agenda to someone? Is there somebody here who's going to give us, given how late this came in, give us a once over lightly on what this actually means?
His name's at the top.
Michael Teelan? How did he manage to escape for the day?
He was busy doing other stuff.
So there's no one here?
We can get somebody. I think Mike's really busy there.
Or Helen Beaumont would be good. Is yours a question, Yanni?
I'm just kind of puzzled why this has just suddenly appeared and whether it can just be taken in 2 weeks. I think it was submitted in March anyway, so it's already long overdue. So
Peter Kingsbury's on his way.
another 2 weeks.
Okay, so we'll find that out from Peter Kingsbury in 2 ticks.
He hasn't got far to come.
Is there anything else in the that we haven't found in the public component?
I think so.
Okay, got a minute's break while Peter gets down here. He's on this floor?
Yeah, he is. He's taking too long.
Thank you.
One, a once over lightly on what it actually means, and 2, is there a time urgency with it?
Can you tell us exactly which report you're on?
Which came as a supplementary agenda item quite late, and it's variation 1 to Environment Canterbury's proposed land and water regional plan.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so this is the submission to the proposed land and water regional plan, and we are asking you to retrospectively affirm the lodging of this submission. The timeframes are such that these comments have to go in very quickly. We are able, of course, to withdraw them or amend them.
No, other just to sort of further explain that the submission period has closed for this, and we don't normally have the opportunity, the time frame between receiving the documents and being able to respond and present our submission to the council and have approval for that before the submission period closes.
So can you just roughly tell us what the submission suggests on behalf of the council? I'm assuming you're looking for standards that are generally higher than what Environment Canterbury currently operates?
Are not necessarily higher. In some cases, in many of the cases with our submission, we are simply supporting the variation, and I've outlined that there from 2.4.2 through to 2.4.4 in the report. So in some, it's a variety. It's a variety of supporting the variation, and in some cases, opposing the variation. There are a lot of issues around natural resource. The Land and Water Regional Plan deals with a lot of issues around natural resources in Canterbury, and our main concerns here are around groundwater issues for Christchurch City and particularly the protection of water supply zones, amongst other issues as well. Correct. It's maintaining and I suppose enhancing or increasing in some cases the level of protection around water supply. Maintaining it at the current level or trying to actually improve that level of protection.
Our aim would be to improve the level of protection rather than maintaining at the current rather dicey level of protection.
There's certainly always that fine line between trying to balance land use provisions for some of these areas against the with further development of these areas, at the same time ensuring that we have a good supply or an adequate supply or high quality and adequate quantity of water as well.
I would have thought the issue of balance was somebody else's actually, that our concern was the high quality standard of water for Christchurch, and that's what we would predicate our submissions on.
We have generally.
Right,
These
okay.
provisions generally make a much tighter framework and protect the resources, and we've supported that move by Environment Canterbury to have greater protection, particularly around stock and improving the management of stormwater, an integrated approach to management of stormwater, and improving the number of discharges of sewage through the stormwater and the water supply.
Yes, probably just follows on from that. So again, this will be all around the farming practices and perhaps the raised level of nitrogen found in the water, and we're trying to maintain that.
It includes farming practices, but it also addresses urban matters. Yep.
On page 551, 4.9, Halsall River Huratini catchment flooding, it says that you've recommended oppose this, and we're supportive of the policy but seek to ensure that land-based stormwater treatment and detention systems are not included in the policy. Given the concern we've had over the recent flooding and the failure of, or the perceived failure of some of these storm detention systems that are on land, why would we oppose having this taken out? Or why would we oppose this?
Sorry, could you just...
So my understanding, I'd like to know why we're opposing this and why we want to ensure that land-based stormwater treatment and detention systems are not included in the policy when we've got community concern that the existing systems that have recently been consented are not adequate, particularly in the Halsall Basin.
Now, I think that's in the separate report. So that's. Are you looking at the
Yeah,
report on the Canterbury proposed land and water regional plan?
No, this is the variation one submission.
Oh, okay, the submission itself.
So 551, 4.9.
We have suggested an amendment to that policy there, as you'll see in the third column.
Sorry, what I'm trying to understand is in the comment that you've made, you're seeking to ensure that land-based stormwater treatment and detention systems are not included in the policy. Why are you recommending that? And have you taken into account the concerns that the community have expressed recently over the flooding, where we've got those sorts of systems that there's a perception that they haven't been adequate? So what I read from your submission is you're wanting less control over those things, where ECAN is saying you need a consent, and I guess as a council we need, I mean again it's hard because we only got this, some of us this morning, but I think we need to understand what the rationale is behind what you're asking for.
As I understand it, we're not opposed to consenting for inundation by stormwater. What we're trying to do here is maintain the ability to build stormwater detention and treatment facilities. So the amendment to the policy is really to maintain the ability to have appropriate and adequate treatment facilities. That's what outcome we're seeking.
Just around process, this needed to be lodged on the 21st of March. It's now the 22nd of May. When are the hearings taking place?
I haven't been advised of any hearing dates at this stage.
Okay, and is this the first opportunity that you've had to present this to council?
This is the first opportunity to have it in front of a council meeting, yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we've got a submissions panel, so I just find it, and that panel has, I think, met in this time, and this wasn't put in front of it. So I'm really concerned. If we don't have a date for hearings, I'd like to suggest this goes to the submissions panel so we can actually understand what we're saying as a council. This is incredibly important, particularly in light of what's happened recently, and I think it does need a greater level of scrutiny than we're able to give it today.
We're happy to hold a workshop even if that's what you wish, and to work through these and explain them.
As long as we all know, because we can go along as well, yeah.